Amore Pete's King, serving Rockville since 1972. Dine in, carry out, or drive up window. Come and see us. Thank you, Rockville, for 50 years of business.
Okay, I guess it's time, so we'll call it to order. George, we'll let you go first.
Well, because I'm a gentleman, I will let the lady go.
Okay, that's fine.
Jane.
Jane.
Yeah.
Jane?
I actually just came in case you all had any questions. I didn't have anything prepared, so to speak. I did send you an updated program sheet for next year showing you that the recycling center in Rockville did go up 14% starting in January.
I guess that you note down in here, we do have here that you're
Yes,
saying.
okay.
You do note down in here that the capital reserve is reduced to 115 to 150 a year. Is that
Yes.
is happening now?
That is happening now. Last year it was 140,000.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for my voice. My allergies are kind of crazy.
Oh, no problem.
So yeah, we average, I do a kind of a 5-year review every year for our board, and we've been averaging about 118,600 of it reducing each year, so, but last year was probably the biggest year.
And what did you say that was?
140,815.
Do you have any idea what your reserve will be at the end of 22?
22, well, as of right now, as of the end of July, we were at 709,000, so after this month, we'll be under 700,000. I checked for the last 12 months, looking at the same time in July last year, we had 821,000, and so this year, as of right now, we have 709, so that's a difference of almost 112,000 less. So we are spending that down each year, and the one thing I wanted to point out is the reason that that reserve is important is because it's actually subsidizing our budget expenses, which is lowering the cost to our counties. So that's why we're trying to maintain some type of reserve at some level, just because it does benefit our counties by not having to contribute the full amount of the budget, which last year was $4.38 a person. And that's still way below the state average.
And there's just Parke and Putnam in this now, is that right?
That's true.
That's right.
That's correct. So Parke represents 31%, Putnam represents 69%.
The state average is 1778. Good morning.
There you go, is that what that is?
We empty that recyclable trailer 5 times a week.
And sometimes more. I've had to pay the last 2 months, we've had to pay an extra pull on the cardboard because it's just coming in so quickly.
And that's on a normal schedule of 3 times a week.
Well, the cardboard is twice, and the commingled is 3. So it's total of 5.
And they're always full.
It's always full. That shows you how much you guys are, it's amazing. You guys use it more than, I think, combined what we have in Putnam County, and you guys are smaller. So you're definitely getting the public support out here. It's definitely, there's an interest there. So basically what you're contributing, what we're asking you to contribute next year would just pay for the cost of you can see at the top where the contract fee is, the $36,000, it would just cover that recycling center. It doesn't even pay any of the tox away day or the electronics recycling day or any of the rest of the district day-to-day expenses and operations. That's all coming out of the reserve.
Are you receiving any, I think you alluded to this before, you don't receive much anything more for any of this stuff that you actually recycled, they don't get paid, have
Oh,
hardly done.
no, it's the cost of just the transportation and the finding a market for it right now is, it's not cost beneficial, I guess, there's no.
That's what's always been the problem.
Yeah, the
It's
glass
not
is the
been-
biggest problem still, but we're still taking it. The city of Greencastle stopped taking glass for like 2 years just because they couldn't find anyone, there was no outlet for it.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's high, and that's why, you know, the cost, I was actually surprised it only went up 14%. I thought with the way the gas prices and everything were skyrocketing there for a while, I thought they might hit us with more like 18%, but they did a 14 for 1 year. Because we have them reevaluate that every year.
The stuff going like down to Wallace, Brazil, or, I mean, where,
Our collector is in Crawfordsville. It's W Enterprises, and they have a facility there where they actually sort everything. They hand sort it, they bale it, and then they call around. They have people that will take it from different locations. So they'll bring in like a whole semi truck, and they'll dock that and then wait till it's full and then ship it out. But it doesn't go to any one particular place. It's just wherever they can get the best
where they get
price
rid of
for it.
it.
Yeah,
Get rid of it.
yeah. And it's a pretty cool place.
Well, if the cardboard's probably going to Cuba, the international paper, I think they're taking most of the scrap around here.
I thought when they put that plastics plant in on 36 where Linkville used to be, I thought there would
Yeah,
be a market that could actually pay something, but they're not.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions for George or Jane?
Is the plan still that you're intending to raise this a quarter a year for?
We just evaluate it every year. I give the board, Cameron included and George and anyone else that's on the board, they all get a 5-year forecast, and we just look at 1 year at a time. We don't spec out, that's just to show you, like, if I look at right now, if we were to stay where we are, we're gonna be out of, the reserve will be gone at the end of 2026. And then it's gonna just shoot the counties per person, whether you do it jointly or whether you do it individually, that's your decision, but it's still, you're gonna still have those same contract costs at the top, no matter what you do. And if you look at right as of today, that's over $4 a person right there. That's what nobody running it, no education, no, you know, day-to-day operation costs, no equipment, nothing. So then you either have to, you know, that's just assuming that you're going to stay at the same level of services that you're getting now without cutting anything.
so I'm thinking.
We're not trying to cut anything.
Is
So.
pay me now or pay me later, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's why we're trying so hard to be fiscally responsible and hold on to that reserve as long as we can, so it does help ease that burden on our counties. But, I mean, we can see we had $1.5 million just, 6-7 years ago, and now we're almost under 700,000. So it doesn't take long when you're going through over 100,000 a year to pay these costs. But again, like George said, the state average is over $17 a person. You know, your neighbors in Fountain County, I think I looked at on their report, it was, I can tell you actually, I've got the report right here, what they paid last year per person. $12.31 was what they paid per person.
How about Montgomery?
Montgomery didn't turn their numbers in, so I know it's higher than what they thought it was gonna be, just because I talked to people that actually are involved in that, but they may not share that publicly, but that's between, you know, that's up to them what they do. But I know we still get calls from Montgomery County people wanting to know what's going on, when are we having a Talks Away Day for them, and I have to keep informing them, I'm sorry, that's not
Not your wheelhouse anymore.
exactly.
You have any other questions? Well, we of course, obviously this is not the budget meeting, so we'll deal with it in budget as we go through
Sure.
all of the rest. So thank you for coming and sharing Sharon,
I just wanted to let you know, we don't take any pleasure in having to ask you, to increase that at all. I mean, and it's consistent with, it's a board decision and it's whatever the two counties combined agree to do. So they both pay the same amount per person. Obviously, Putnam County's paying more because they have quite a bit more population, but
All right. Okay, well, thank you very much.
thank you for your consideration.
Oh, no problem. Okay, on to Chris, are you ready then?
Yeah. Thank you, George.
Thank you, George. You both, thanks, George. Good to see you.
Yep.
Oh.
Hey, so I think you all got the sheet I sent up. We got a lot back. This is the last time I spoke to you. And so there's 3 grants that are closed out. That would be the fence around the jail, the data conversion, and then the salary reimbursement.
Yeah, we didn't.
Oh, okay. And, all right, so those 3 grants we got the money back from the state, so that's good news. Those balances are zeroed out, there's no problems with that. The grant that we have, the 2 that we're working on are the generators for the highway department, and that's just supply chain issues, but that's no big ones. And then there's the hazard mitigation plan grant. So that $18,000, already worked with the commissioners, and we're gonna contract with, Partnership Parks. That $18,000 will go to them to help write the plan. Also with that, if I could get a member from the council to be on our planning committee, you'd have to meet 4 times for about an hour over a year. I talked to Carmen about this because he does it with the LAPC, so if whoever you guys
do, you
choose.
wanna do that, Cameron?
Yep.
Sure.
Don't everyone volunteer.
Yeah, I know, everybody's, we're all,
And then the last thing is the FEMA money. We should be getting $25,000 from the state, or FEMA from the state for some of that stuff that we bought for gloves and stuff like that. Now FEMA approved it, but the state can't get their stuff together and send us the money. The lady said the next 45 days it should be here, and that money. There isn't a lot of rules on it, but it would go back to the accounts that it came out of. And so I'll work with the auditor to make sure the money goes back. A lot of it was general fund money, and some of the other stuff was some of the health department ones.
okay.
And the last thing is, can I go first on the budget at 8:30? I know Debbie.
Yeah, I don't have my schedule in front of
Yeah.
me. Do you need to go another time, or?
If I could go first, that'd be great. I just have to
you
be
know,
in Sullivan
Who do we
County
have?
at 10.
Can you pull that up?
Been sold at 10, you got a good hour drive.
Yeah.
And the judge is probably first. You may not
No.
be. He's not the first.
Debbie Burnett's first.
Debbie's first.
Yeah, Debbie Barnett.
You want me to just ask her if we can swap?
Just be here.
Yeah, just be
Okay.
here. Now you don't need to contact her. We'll just work in. I'll just start with you first, and we'll catch up because there's not that much to someone to talk about. Just don't be very long-winded.
I won't. We'll be quick.
It'll be fun.
Okay, yeah, just come at 8:30.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Assessor, Mrs. Potter.
We ended the appeals cycle with 86 total appeals, which was up by 4. However, right after they filed them, 9 people withdrew. We started having our informal appeals hearings, and 11 people were no call, no shows, and they're informed in their letter that if they're a no call, no show, there's no change. So we're down to 66 we're working with. Monday we're going to come up with our final numbers based upon the evidence submitted, and we'll get those out to the people and see where we go from there. It was very productive this year, very productive. The other thing I have, well, 2 other things. September 15th, I have 2 IBTR hearings. One is for Thelma and Richard Hatke. It's their 2020 appeal. We're finally being heard by the IBTR. And then I've got Mr. Bennett. He went, and he's from 21, and they're finally hearing his appeal. So we'll have both of those on September the 15th. I don't.
So does Marilyn represent us on those, or how
Yes,
does
she
that?
does.
She's representing us.
She's got everything done. I think it'll be just fine. And then we're still doing reassessment. We've already done Green, Howard, Liberty, She's in Washington right now, and we still gotta do Penn, Bloomingdale, and Rockville town.
Reichman's got a lot of nice buildings out there, just if you didn't know.
She's gonna have her binoculars out taking a look. We're doing fine, we're moving on, and no issues.
Go away.
Yeah, go away.
Okay, all right, thank you. Kim?
Okay, well, tax sale is going along smoothly. We'll probably have less this year than we've ever had. And then I'm here about the payroll issues. State and county have been corrected. Federal and the retirements are still carrying monies, and sheriff is overpaid. Then Tuesday, the deputy brought over his state, or his withholding checks, and dated them July 30th. For an August withholding. We've already closed out July, we'd already balanced July, we'd already reconciled July, so we sent them back.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Anything else? Auditor wanna say anything?
The July 30th checks, that was for the pay period ending July 30th. You got messed up with the dates on there. Instead of using the pay date, you used the pay period ending date on those checks. And those checks are going to be corrected and reissued. We're voiding them and reissuing them. This is for the checks that's coming up with Monday's payday. And the other accounts are being worked on as we're going.
Okay.
I have a question on department heads.
Sure.
Have you, it's my understanding that there was an error in rolling personal property for assessed value. Has that been brought in and whatever correction made is required from that?
I believe it was. I'll have to check into it, make sure.
Yeah, could you-
I got a phone call Monday from the real estate deputy, and she processed that CFD Monday.
Okay, because that, I mean, that's a big, from what I understand, it's a big chunk, so that'll change the CNAV quite a bit.
CNAV started.
Should. You know, if that's going into the assessed value, won't that change the CNAV?
No,
Well,
that changed the winter abstract. I don't go back.
okay, so this is, so it'll be for this year, this pay year, not next pay year.
It's for next pay. Well, we had one for 21 paying 22, we did a CV on.
Mhm.
And then we've got a 22 paying 23. All we do have to do on that is change the values. Once the CNAP's done, it's certified. You don't make any changes on that until you do your winter abstract. When you do the winter abstract, then that's when the changes come in place.
Okay.
That winter abstract is your whole main important thing. Your CNAP is an estimated value, but your winter abstract is 100% value.
But my point, okay, that's all understood. My point is that when it comes to this budget, is that figure goes into the assessed value. That will be used to calculate tax rates and bills on the budget order and on tax bills and so on and so forth. Is that correct?
Are you asking me if I want to change the CNAP?
No. I'm asking you, is the change, the COE that's put in, will change the assessed value
Correct. It has
that will be
already been done.
used to determine tax rates and tax bills to the taxpayers of, well,
It's my
particularly that
understanding that
township.
the CNAP is what's going to be used on the tax rates.
Good.
I'd have to check into DLFG, but it's a CNAP that's going to determine your tax rates. And they know that's the estimate. How much of a change of value was it?
897,000 and some change.
I'll have to check into that and see.
That's why I'm asking. If it was
Yeah.
$500, we'd care. But
I
when I'm
can,
dialing these rates
I can
into
call Fred
to
and
net,
see if
to-
I should be changing that and doing. And
I would like to know.
recertify it.
Right, does it need to be recertified, because that's a big change, right, I mean, that's $900,000 in that, so, we'd like to know if the CNAB will have to be updated, because every other time, the CNAB is the number that's used for the budget, order. You can go back and check that over time and see that they're the same number. I don't think C of E is all that common, so you do very many of them.
No, we don't do a lot. Only time I do is for appeals, but that's on the back side.
That's way after the
Yeah,
fact.
that's way
There's
after the
nothing
fact.
anybody's gonna do about that.
And I want to address real quick what happened. It was a software issue because I went to look to see if it was my deputy's issue. People make mistakes, but if it was, I need to put things in place. Regardless, I just need to know if it's software or if it's personal error so I can retrain or else get the software fixed. It was a software error. We have since had him do updates and fix that, so hopefully that won't happen again. But on the back side, we're going to put some more checks and balances in before we roll to the auditor to make sure this doesn't happen again. Even though he says it's fixed. I don't trust it, so we will be doing checks and balances before it ever rolls to the auditor again. Luckily, it was only one taxpayer. It was a significant amount of money, but
Yeah, it's a big chunk, so it matters.
absolutely it does.
It matters when calculating rates and trying to dial this thing in.
So,
$900,000 in assessed value on CCD or cumulative bridge at a rate driven make a difference in that levy. So, anyway, we need to find out if they're going to use that,
I'll check with
which
Fred.
way they need you to handle that, because they may want that CNAB updated, I don't know, because they're going to use that number. You're
Right, that
You're
is
absolutely
correct.
right. Okay.
That's usually just an estimated number, they know it's gonna be an estimated number, and that's, but when you do the winter abstract, that makes a whole big difference.
Anyway,
Okay, moving on, we're tabling the minutes, I guess, till September.
Yes, I've got, employees with COVID.
Okay. All right, we will go on to the additionals.
the first one, 341,000 local road and streets is match money for a crossings grant for the first round this year. We talked about that last month. I am not familiar with the next one.
The
That was
next
not
one is
presented to
what
me.
the county highway submitted to the auditor. The county highway wanted this money that they've done with dust control and chip and seal money that was collected. And they're wanting that to be an additional appropriation to go back in.
Well, not a reappropriation.
Well, it seems to me that that's probably a reappropriation, but it has been advertised this way, and it's not necessarily wrong, but
Okay, well, that's fine, that's fine.
So we're good.
it's so this is recovering and putting back in the line, basically the money that people paid to have work done. So,
Yep.
dust control, chip and seal projects, all right, that's really a reappropriation, okay, that's fine.
Just leave it as it is. Okay. All right, any questions on the additionals?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion been made, second, to approve the additionals, all in favor?
Aye.
We have no transfers, no reappropriations, pay the jury.
And the motion paid to your.
I'll second.
Motion been made, second, pay the jury, all in favor?
Aye.
No reduction in funds. Redevelopment did not meet.
Planning and zoning did not meet.
Courthouse security did not meet. We dealt with the solid waste for now. Next Thursday,
Here,
the 18th, here,
8:30.
8:30.
8:30. Should be more comfortable for everybody. Hopefully, don't expect to have to meet on Friday at all. It would take, unless something unexpected happens, why it'll be Thursday only.
Yeah, I don't expect to need to do that, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, anything